Thank you for choosing this video and joining me today for this yin yoga practice. I've designed this practice to help create a sense of both grounding down and opening up. So we'll be doing just 4 yin yoga poses. We'll be doing 2 of those poses face down to create our stability, and then 2 of the poses face up to create our sense of expansiveness. So if you're ready, grab your bolster, a block, and maybe a blanket for some extra comfort, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're going to start with our first face down pose. This is going to be a supported locust with an option to do a supported sphinx, and I will show you both. So you want your bolster at your foot end of the mat. I have my block on the medium height, and then I'm going to use the bolster use the block just to tilt the bolster. So I have a little bit of an incline, not too much. You can adjust this to your own needs. It can be lower if necessary. To get in this pose, we're going to come onto all fours facing away. And then we'll start to scooch ourselves back. I'm bringing my knees all the way up to the bolster and then settling my body down so that my shins come right on the bolster. So this is our locust pose with the elevated, lengthened shins. You could, if you'd like, scooch up more and have your knees even on the bolster. But I like my knees resting a bit on the floor, shins on the bolster. Now to do locust pose, head comes all the way down. I can rest on my arms or on the blanket. If you would like this pose to be a Sphinx pose, take your arms, prop your body up, and hold yourself in the Sphinx position. Now, in either version of the pose, you are welcome to use a prop. The prop can be under your head if you let your head come down. You might also like the prop just under the ribs, especially if you're doing a locust pose or a Sphinx pose. You might also like the prop just under your ribs if you're doing Sphinx pose to provide just that bit of extra support. So in yin yoga, we find our right degree of stretch, and that is just right for you. And then we remain in the pose for our designated amount of time, which for this pose, we're going to be here about 3 minutes total. This is a back bending pose. It's a supported back bend. Back bends stretch us across the front of the body. You might explore what you notice, whether you feel some stretch in the front of your thighs, your hip flexors. If you're propped up, that stretch might come up into your torso, your chest. And if desired, you can use just a little bit of muscular activation. I'm pulling my elbows in toward my body and moving my chest forward just a little bit to find that right level of sensation for me. Wherever your hands are placed, letting them be soft. If you're all the way down in your locust pose and you had your head turned to one side, you might wish to turn it to the other side at this point. As we're finding our sense of grounding in this pose, feel the parts of your body that are touching the floor, your mat, your prop. Notice the sense of stability that you get from those parts that are anchoring you, are giving you a place to be firm and stable, providing a foundation for you. Now you may feel some sensation in the back body as well, even though this is a back bend stretching the front. The back body can squeeze together at parts. That's called compression. And so long as it is a sensation that is wanted, desirable, not painful, compression, and stretch are all sensations that are allowable and acceptable in yin yoga. And then after your next exhale, you might just split your feet on either sides of the bolster, place your hands on the mat if they weren't there already. Slowly begin to crawl your way back to all fours. You could find a few cat-cows here in the middle if you'd like. And then turn around to face your bolster. So in our next posture, we're going to start to find some more opening and some liberation in the lower body in particular. So I still have my bolster on an incline. I went ahead and moved the block to the higher height here. Wanted a little bit more stretch. You again can decide which height is appropriate for you. We are going to be on our backs and we're going to be doing a supported leg stretch here. I've also still have my blanket behind me. I might want that as a pillow. So I'd suggest here having the bolster somewhere in the middle, sliding up, maybe staying a little bit more to the left side of your mat to start. And now you're going to slide your bottom all the way up to the bolster. And as you lie back, you'll let just your right leg come down to your prop setup. Now you may need to do the little bit of the yoga scooch to get there. Once you find your spot, you can let your hands rest wherever they're comfortable, to your side, on your body. They can even be above your head if you want a little bit more of an upper body stretch. Let me see where we are in our time. We'll have about 2 to 3 minutes on each side in this pose. So the most obvious sense of stretch here might be somewhere in the hamstring, maybe around the hip flexor of the leg that is on the prop. And yet with the lower extended leg, you might also notice some stretch in the hip flexor there where it's lengthened. Again, there's no real sensation in yin that is illegal or not allowed other than pain. If there's any pain, that is your signal in yin to adjust the pose. Perhaps you change the height of the bolster. Maybe you move your leg on the bolster. You're welcome to turn your toes in or out. We don't really follow any specific alignment rules in yin. You're aligning the pose to your own body. It's a functional practice where we're looking at the sense of sensation. Breathing in yin supports the practice simply through a natural, comfortable breath. If you have a particular breath practice you'd like to add, you can choose to add that in. Notice your breathing, observing about 3 more cycles on this side. And then when you're ready, I would suggest bending the leg that's on the floor first. Sometimes even though the stretch feels really gentle, we don't realize how much our body was actually putting in effort. We move really slowly. I'm going to take the other leg off, and then I'll do a little scooch, sliding myself a little bit more to my right side of the mat so that this time I can extend my right leg. You could also move your bolster setup if that's easier. My right leg goes long, and then my left leg easily comes along the bolster setup. Remember, you can allow the feet to turn out or turn in. We often look for that Goldilocks sensation in yin, the place where there's not too much, not too little, somewhere around 50 to 60% of your effort. Again, you may grow quiet. Feel the relaxation, the release of the muscles of your face, your jaw, your upper body supported by the floor. As you're supported, allowing yourself to open up to this experience, to feel expansive. Now, it is okay for your two sides to be different. We use our bodies in different ways, so they don't always show up as symmetrical when we do our yin practice, and that's okay. Give yourself permission to adjust your props, adjust your body to what is needed, customizing the practice for each side. Especially in this one pose. This is our only asymmetrical pose of the practice. As we finish up this side, once more observe your last few full flows of breath. So full, complete inhale, full, expansive exhale. And again, bend your leg that is on the ground. Slowly remove your top leg from the prop. Give yourself a moment here in center. In these little in-between breaks or rebounds, you can be absolutely still. Or if you find your body is desiring a little bit of movement, like some windshield wipers with the legs, go ahead and make that movement. And then use your hands to help yourself up to a seated position. Okay, we're doing our next face down pose, our last face down pose. See if you can find the version of the pose that helps you come into yourself, to feel grounded, to feel your foundation before we go into our last opening up pose. You'll have two options here. The first option is going to be a wide leg supported child's. Now, I took the bolster off of the block for this, but you absolutely could have the bolster still inclined if you'd like. If you have your blanket, you might want to place that over your heels, snuggle up the bolster into your thigh, spread or walk your hands forward. You can take your head to one side or the other. If your bolster's on an angle, you can actually give it a little hug. And that can feel really supported and comforting. Now, not everyone likes child's pose, so I wanted to offer another option. And this option is a face down Shavasana, where the bolster is going to come over or support our whole torso, but really about to the level of where our hip flexors are. So for the face down Shavasana version, you'll walk your body over the bolster, and you can see I'm taking the bolster right up to my hip crease. And then I have the block here to form a little pillow or rest for my forehead. Now I'm keeping my glasses on. Obviously, if you're practicing on your own, you might want to remove your glasses. You can also grab your blanket if you need a little softer of a landing spot. But I'll stay here in the face down Shavasana. And once again, we're going to hold this pose for about 3 minutes. Again, you can notice that combination of the places where your body is grounded and how those supported places maybe allow the stretch, that our bodies can feel safe and comfortable to start releasing the places we're targeting because we've provided such a strong foundation. If you're doing child's pose, you're targeting a little bit more of the hips. Perhaps you can also feel some stretch in the inner thighs, depending on how wide you have your legs. And if you are in child's pose and have your head turned to one side, you could turn it to the other side. Face down pose can bring us more into ourselves. We can have more of an internal focus to our practice. And yet sometimes we can also find that we get focused or start to ruminate on our thoughts. Know that that is totally normal if that happens. Observe, notice what's happening. You might even label that as thinking to yourself in a very gentle way. And then just as gently bring your attention to physical sensations in your body. The practice of shifting your awareness, that's basically the practice of mindfulness. To shift our awareness with intention to some neutral object like the feeling of our feet on the floor, the sense of our breath moving in and out of our body. We'll finish with 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then from either child's pose or your face down Shavasana, use your hands once again, pushing up, finding an all fours position. You can stretch there if you need to, or perhaps come back and sit on your heels for a moment for a neutral rebound. And then we'll be moving to our final pose of the class. So for this final pose, we'll be doing a face-up fish pose. There are numerous ways to do fish pose, which is generally considered a heart opener, a pose that is a gentle back bend that allows us expansion across the chest. That's a very supported gentle back bend when we do it with the bolster. So I have my bolster still vertically behind me. Once again, it's not on an angle. You can do it on an angle if you choose. I've moved my block out of the way. I do like a little bit, just a little bit of cushion under my head, so I have my blanket here. This time the bolster is going to hit me somewhere in the lower ribs. That will help to get me a maximal opening in the chest. Now, if that's too much for you, you can scooch so that the bolster comes a little lower on your spine. As always, your yin practice is adjustable to you. So find the place where your upper back feels supported. You can rest your head, and again, maybe allowing a little cushion there. You can roll your blanket as desired. So you can see here the bolster is helping to lift my upper chest. I'm getting a lot of expansiveness and opening there. I prefer my legs long for this. Feel free to cross yours or keep your knees bent. I also prefer my arms out to the side, and if you'd like to enhance that feeling of expansiveness, of opening, of welcoming whatever comes, turn your palms up. If that's not for you, find a different position for your hands that feels still welcoming, opening. Maybe also you want a little bit more grounding with your palms down. And then once you're in position, start to still let your body be supported, just like we did in our face down poses. We're still finding that same grounding. Now we can also breathe into the space, perhaps allowing ourselves to be just the right amount of vulnerable here as we open up to whatever this last pose may bring to us today. Over the course of this slow practice, you may experience a natural slowing down of your breath. Perhaps you encourage your exhales to start being a little bit longer and slower than your inhales. Remember that if you notice your thoughts being distracted, disruptive, scattered, be very gentle with yourself as you bring your attention back to your body, back to those dual sensations of feeling grounded and feeling open. Let's breathe together for a last few breaths, taking a breath in, filling the body with air, and then letting the breath move slowly out through the nose until you've released all of the air. Let's try that 2 more times. Breathing in, natural breath in, perhaps feeling expansion in the side ribs, the back body. And then if you like, purse your lips for a long, slow breath out. Once more, breathing in, long, slow breath out. You are welcome to stay in this posture as long as you like. If you're ready to conclude the class with me, hands come by your side, legs bent if they weren't already, and once more, gently roll up to your seated position. I'm so glad that you practiced with me today. I'd love to hear how you feel. You comment below. I do read every single comment. Tell me if you noticed a new friend somewhere in the workout room today. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day.